There are moments in life when everything feels locked, sealed, and blocked. Moments when you stand before doors that seem too heavy to push, too impossible to move, too fortified to cross. But today, I want you to declare a truth that shifts atmospheres, aligns your spirit, and invites divine intervention into your journey. Say it 3 times with intention, conviction, and expectation. God will open doors I never expected. God will open doors I never expected. God will open doors I never expected. When you speak these words, you're not reciting poetry. You're activating a principle. You are aligning yourself with a God who specializes in surprises, breakthroughs, and divine timing. There are doors your education could not open, doors your connections could not unlock, doors your strength could not push. But there is no door, physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, or relational, that can resist the keys of heaven. Every door has a purpose. Some are locked to protect you. Some are closed to redirect you. Some remain shut because you are being prepared for what waits behind them. But the doors that belong to your destiny, those doors cannot remain shut when the appointed moment comes. And many times, that moment begins with your declaration. Your words shape your environment. Your speech reveals your expectation. Destiny responds to faith-filled declarations. When you speak what God promises, you give permission for heaven to interrupt earth on your behalf. You open the pathway for opportunities that were hidden, relationships that were delayed, resources that were reserved, and breakthroughs that were waiting for your alignment. There are 3 kinds of doors God opens unexpectedly. The door you didn't know existed, the door you thought you lost, and the door you believed you didn't deserve. And all 3 can swing open in a single season when you shift your language from doubt to faith. Some of you have been knocking on the wrong doors, exhausting your energy, draining your confidence, and questioning your worth. But today, speak differently, declare boldly, claim access. Because when God opens a door, it stays open until you walk through it. No delay can cancel it. No enemy can block it. No force can stop it. But you must prepare. God will never open a door you are not ready to manage. Every door requires a version of you that is matured, disciplined, and aligned with purpose. Elevation demands transformation. Before God opens the door, He strengthens your character. Before He promotes you, He sharpens your vision. Before He launches you forward, He roots you deeper. So stand strong, declare truth, lift your voice and speak again. God will open doors I never expected. Say it like you believe the season is shifting. Say it like you know heaven is moving. Say it like you understand that what is coming is bigger than what has been. You are on the edge of an unexpected door. One conversation away, one decision away, one opportunity away from something that will redefine your path. And when that door opens, it will make sense why others stayed shut. It will make sense why you had to wait. It will make sense why the process took time. Walk with expectation. Speak with authority. Move with faith. Because today, heaven is whispering over your life. Get ready. The door is about to open. The journey toward an unexpected door begins long before the door appears. It starts internally in the quiet places where thoughts form, beliefs take shape, and identity is strengthened. When a person begins to declare that God will open doors they never expected, something shifts within them. Their mindset breaks free from limitation, fear, and the weight of past disappointments. They no longer look at closed doors with frustration, but with understanding, recognizing that the timing of access is intentional. Many spend years trying to force their way into opportunities that were never assigned to them, exhausting their energy on doors that were meant to stay shut. But when faith grows, vision adjusts, and the soul becomes aligned with purpose, a person begins to see that every blocked path carries a message. It might be a reminder to wait, a signal to prepare, or a call to redirect towards something greater. As the heart opens to this truth, the individual shifts from striving to trusting. They begin to recognize that divine doors are not influenced by human approval or worldly systems. God orchestrates moments that bypass qualifications, connections, and expectations. Sometimes the door He opens is one you didn't even know to ask for, one hidden behind years of routine or difficulty. At other times, it is a door you believed you lost. A dream you assumed was gone forever suddenly erected in a form more powerful than before. And occasionally, it is a door you felt unworthy of, one that reveals how deeply God values you and how precisely He positions you. This internal transformation builds strength. Preparation becomes intentional. Discipline becomes natural. The person begins to cultivate gratitude, patience, and resilience, as if sensing that something is approaching. They stop chasing validation and start building capacity. Because when God opens a door, it requires a version of you that can handle what waits behind it. The door is not just an entry point, it is a responsibility. And by speaking faith, shaping character, and aligning with purpose, a person positions themselves to walk confidently into what once felt impossible. The unexpected door becomes not just a moment of breakthrough, but the beginning of a new chapter shaped by trust, readiness, and divine orchestration. When you begin to understand the nature of unexpected doors, you also start to see how intentional the process behind them truly is. Nothing about these openings is accidental. Long before the door swings wide, there are movements happening behind the scenes. Conversations you never hear. Decisions made in rooms you've never entered, and shifts arranged in places far beyond your control. God prepares opportunities in secret, shaping situations in ways that align perfectly with your purpose. While you think nothing is changing, the foundation for transformation is quietly being built. The delay you feel is not denial, it is positioning. There are seasons when you are kept away from certain doors because what's behind them is not ready, because you are still developing the clarity and strength to manage what will be entrusted to you. During this hidden stage, discouragement often tries to settle in. You might look at your life and wonder why everything seems still, why progress feels slow, or why others appear to be moving ahead while you remain in place. But what feels like stagnation is often divine protection. Rushing into an unprepared season can cause more harm than help. The waiting period becomes a place of refinement. Your patience grows stronger, your discernment sharper, and your spirit more anchored. You begin to recognize that the true preparation is not external, it is internal. Confidence is built not by circumstances changing, but by your belief system maturing. This internal strengthening ensures that when the door does open, you won't hesitate, second guess, or sabotage the opportunity. As this process continues, you may find yourself drawn toward greater discipline. You start investing more intentionally in your growth, expecting something ahead even when you can't see it yet. You learn to value solitude, rest, and clarity. The noise of comparison fades. replaced by focus and purpose. You feel an inner shift that tells you the season is about to change. And when the moment arrives, the door that once felt distant suddenly presents itself with undeniable clarity. You realize that every slow season, every silent prayer, and every delayed answer was part of the careful design that prepared you for this exact opening. The unexpected door doesn't appear by luck. It appears by divine strategy. And when it opens, it confirms that the waiting was never wasted. Every unexpected door carries a requirement, and stepping through it demands a version of you that is steady, mature, and aligned with purpose. Many people pray for open doors, but overlook the weight that comes with opportunity. The greater the door, the greater the responsibility behind it. Before God opens anything significant, He ensures that what is within, when you can sustain what He is giving you. This is why the preparation season is never wasted. It refines your thinking, strengthens your discipline, and stretches your capacity. You begin to realize that success is not simply about entering a new place. It's about being able to remain there and flourish. The internal work becomes just as important as the external breakthrough. You are being shaped to handle influence, manage blessing, and walk with wisdom, so you do not mismanage what you once prayed for. As you grow, you start recognizing patterns in the journey. You understand that every challenge was a form of training, and every delay was a form of guidance. You learn to appreciate the lessons that came disguised as obstacles. Instead of asking why something didn't happen sooner, you begin to acknowledge that you wouldn't have been prepared for it earlier. The door you are waiting for requires clarity, humility, and resilience. It requires the ability to stay focused when distractions rise, and the strength to remain grounded when opportunities expand. You develop a deeper awareness of how your choices shape your future. You start to manage your time differently, treat people with more grace, and guard your peace with greater intentionality. These adjustments may seem small, but each one is part of the preparation for the door that is coming. As this development continues, you sense a shift in your spirit. You no longer chase after open doors, you prepare for them. You understand that the right door will recognize the right version of you. Your faith matures into expectation rather than desperation. You become more intentional with your thoughts, your habits, and your environment. You protect your growth knowing that opportunities are attracted to readiness. And when the unexpected door finally appears, you walk toward it not with fear or uncertainty, but with confidence. You know you have been prepared, refined, and strengthened for this moment. The door becomes a reflection of your transformation, a sign that the work within you has made room for what is now unfolding before you. When the door finally opens, it rarely looks the way you imagined. Sometimes it opens quietly, without applause or obvious signs. Other times it opens suddenly, almost disrupting your routine and pulling you into a season you didn't realize you were ready for. Unexpected doors often come disguised as ordinary moments. An introduction, a conversation, a shift in direction, or a small opportunity that grows into something significant. This is why awareness is so important. When your heart is prepared, you begin to recognize divine opportunities, even when they come wrapped in simplicity. You sense a nudge, an inner pull, a quiet confirmation telling you, yes, this is the moment, and because you have been shaped for it, you respond with clarity rather than hesitation. But stepping through an unexpected door requires courage. You are leaving the familiar behind and embracing a new environment that asks you to stretch further than before. Uncertainty may whisper doubts, trying to convince you that you are not ready or not worthy. Yet, the preparation you've gone through becomes your anchor. Every lesson learned, every moment of growth, every season of waiting now serves as evidence that you were built for this. You begin to walk with a balance of humility and boldness. Humility to stay teachable and boldness to occupy the space God has opened for you. Even when the door leads into unfamiliar territory, you move forward because you recognize that divine opportunities always carry a grace that empowers you to handle what lies ahead. As you step further into this new space, you may encounter challenges that test your confidence. This doesn't mean the door wasn't meant for you. Every new level demands adaptation, and discomfort is often a sign of growth rather than misalignment. You learn to rely more deeply on faith, trusting that the same God who opened the door will guide you through it. You begin to see how the journey pieces together. The closed doors that once frustrated you now make sense because they were redirecting you here. The waiting that felt endless now reveals its purpose because it equipped you with the character needed to thrive. This newfound perspective strengthens your resolve. You continue moving forward with gratitude, knowing that stepping through this door is not just about entering a new place. It is about evolving into the person you were always meant to become. The moment you step into the space behind an unexpected door, you begin to realize how differently God arranges opportunities compared to how you would have planned them. What waits inside is not just a new environment, but a new rhythm, a new responsibility, and often a new identity being shaped. You start noticing that the people you meet, the tasks you're entrusted with, and the challenges you confront are all part of a carefully designed process that continues to mold you. This new place stretches you in ways the previous season never could. It demands a higher level of focus, a deeper level of patience, and a stronger commitment to the values you cultivated during your waiting season. The sudden changes around you highlight the changes that have already taken place within you, and you begin to understand why preparation was so necessary. As this chapter unfolds, you will find moments where you feel overwhelmed, not because you are incapable, but because you are being invited to grow again. Every open door carries rooms you must learn to navigate, rooms of opportunity, rooms of learning, rooms of challenge, and rooms of refinement. You will encounter situations that require wisdom you have not yet mastered and strength you have not fully realized. But you also discover that grace shows up in these places, empowering you to handle what once felt impossible. The unfamiliar begins to feel purposeful. The responsibilities that seemed heavy begin to shape your confidence. The unexpected door becomes a classroom where you gain skills, insights, and maturity that elevate you step by step. This new chapter also reveals the importance of staying grounded. Blessings without balance can easily become burdens. Opportunities without character can become traps. You recognize the need to remain connected to your purpose so you do not drift into distraction. You learn to set boundaries, to protect your mental and spiritual alignment, and to prioritize what truly matters. You begin to value quiet reflection just as much as active movement, understanding that clarity comes from stillness. And while the door may have opened unexpectedly, sustaining what's inside requires an intentionality. Your growth becomes continuous, your vision expands, and your dependence on divine guidance deepens. In this space, you begin to see that the unexpected door was not a destination, but a transition, an invitation into a new level of becoming, where every step shapes you into someone more capable, more aware, and more aligned with the future waiting ahead. As you continue walking through the unexpected door, you begin to understand that elevation is never a single moment, but a continuous unfolding. What initially felt like a breakthrough gradually becomes a journey of refinement, stretching your capacity and revealing layers of strength you didn't realize you possessed. Each new assignment, connection, and opportunity in this season carries a subtle invitation to grow deeper in resilience and clarity. You start noticing that challenges no longer shake you the way they once did. Instead of reacting with fear or doubt, you respond with a sense of calm confidence, grounded in the understanding that if the door opened, then the grace to handle what's inside was already provided. This awareness allows you to navigate obstacles with greater patience, treating every difficulty as a tool shaping your future, rather than a barrier threatening your progress. Within this new chapter, you also discover the importance of discernment. Not every opportunity inside an open door is meant to be pursued, and every voice should influence your direction. You learn to distinguish between distractions and divine assignments, between noise and guidance. This discernment strengthens your ability to say no to what drains you and yes to what aligns with your purpose. You begin filtering decisions through wisdom rather than pressure. You no longer rush out of fear of missing out, because you recognize that what is truly meant for you cannot be taken, delayed, or replaced. This shift in mindset protects your peace and keeps your focus sharp, allowing you to move through this expanded space with intention rather than confusion. As you progress further, relationships become a significant part of your growth. Some people enter your life to support your next level, offering encouragement, insight, and collaboration. Others fall away naturally, not out of conflict, but because their season in your story has fulfilled its purpose. You learn to release these transitions without bitterness, understanding that elevation often redefines your circle. You begin embracing connections that challenge you to think higher, dream bigger, and act with greater integrity. At the same time, you deepen your awareness of how your presence influences others. You start carrying yourself with more responsibility, knowing your journey impacts far more lives than your own. Through this ongoing process, the unexpected door becomes a place where your mindset matures, your spirit strengthens, and your life aligns with a greater purpose as you move deeper into the season that the unexpected door has revealed. You begin to notice how your perspective shifts in ways you couldn't have predicted. Once intimidated you now inspires you. What once felt out of reach now feels attainable. You start to understand that growth is not measured only by outward success, but by the inner stability that develops over time. Situations that would have defeated you in previous seasons now serve as reminders of how far you've come. You no longer rely solely on emotion or impulse. Instead, you respond with intention, guided by the wisdom you've gained through every waiting period, disappointment, and breakthrough. This maturity helps you see the bigger picture, how every moment, even the difficult ones, has been a necessary part of the preparation for where you now stand. In this expanded space, you also begin to witness the unfolding of divine connections and opportunities that feel almost perfectly timed. Doors within the door start to appear, new avenues of influence, unexpected partnerships, and fresh responsibilities that push you further into purpose. These opportunities may seem sudden, but deep down, you know they are the result of alignment, readiness, and obedience. You recognize that when you step into the right place at the right time, favor flows naturally. It becomes clear that this season isn't built on your strength alone, but on a divine orchestration that has guided you every step of the way. This realization humbles you, grounding you quietly even as you rise higher. Along with expansion comes the subtle reminder to protect your spirit. Success can attract noise, opinions, and distractions that attempt to pull your focus away from what truly matters. You learn to navigate this with grace, setting boundaries, prioritizing clarity, and refusing to let comparison undermine your journey. You understand that not every invitation requires your presence, and not every compliment should influence your direction. This awareness becomes a shield, helping you preserve the integrity, peace, and vision that brought you here in the first place. As you move further through this chapter, you also begin to see how your growth impacts others. Your story becomes a source of encouragement. Your resilience becomes a model, and your transformation becomes evidence that unexpected doors can lead to extraordinary outcomes. You find yourself speaking with more purpose, listening with more compassion, and leading with more authenticity. Each step becomes intentional, each choice more deliberate. As you navigate this season with a sense of calling rather than simple ambition. Through this journey, you realize that the unexpected door wasn't just meant to elevate you. It was meant to shape you into someone capable of elevating others. As you continue walking through the fullness of the unexpected door, a deeper realization settles within you. The realization that destiny is never a single event, but a continual unfolding of moments shaped by faith, obedience, and alignment. In this chapter, you begin to understand that what God opens is never limited to one blessing or one opportunity. The door becomes a gateway into layers of purpose that reveal themselves slowly, each one requiring a new level of awareness, humility, and gratitude. You start to recognize how your past experiences, even the painful ones, now serve as tools that strengthen your ability to lead, to influence, and to navigate this expanded place with clarity. The confidence growing inside you is not built on arrogance, but on the quiet assurance that you were prepared, molded, and positioned for such a time as this. In this season, you learn the importance of sustaining what has been given. Many doors open, but not everyone knows how to remain steady once they step inside. You realize that consistency becomes a form of protection. Discipline becomes a form of honor. Integrity becomes a form of gratitude. You start approaching each assignment with a deeper sense of responsibility, understanding that the open door came with trust attached to it. The opportunities you now hold are not more moments to take lightly, but spaces to steward faithfully. This mindset strengthens your character and widens your capacity, allowing you to handle greater responsibilities without being overwhelmed. You learn to balance ambition with patience, movement with rest, and progress with reflection. This balance keeps you anchored even as you ascend into new levels of influence. During this chapter, you also witness how the unexpected door affects the people connected to your journey. Your growth begins to inspire others who once doubted themselves. Your resilience becomes a testimony that helps others believe that their own doors may not be far away. Without trying, you become a living example of what happens when someone remains faithful, prepared, and patient. Your journey starts to carry a ripple effect. Your obedience helps unlock courage in others. Your breakthrough sparks hope. And your transformation becomes evidence that divine timing is always worth the wait. As the door continues to lead you forward, you begin to walk with a new kind of expectation. Not desperation or urgency, but peaceful confidence. You understand that if God opened one unexpected door, He can open another. If He brought you through seasons of waiting, He can bring you into seasons of flourishing. This chapter becomes a reminder that the journey is ongoing, and every step inside this new space is shaping you into a person capable of stepping into even greater doors ahead.